Welcome to the Star Podcast.
Whoa. Star Podcast.
Welcome to the Star Podcast, hosted by Natt. Each week, we share tips and stories from safety, trucking, and recruitment, and everything in between. Listen now.
Today I'm joined by John Roberts, who's the Corporate Safety Manager for Natt Safety Services. And you might remember John. He's been on plenty of times, and I always enjoy sitting down with John. He's very knowledgeable, and he's just overall very fun to talk to. So today we're talking all about working at heights, and whether you are a seasoned professional or you're just getting started in your career, whether you're in construction or mining or whatever industry you're in, I think this episode is very important because John does share information not just about working at heights and the requirements and what goes on in the training at Natt Safety, but he also talks a little bit about equipment and different training that is offered for that. So I highly recommend you listen to John. All right. Well, I'm very excited to talk to you again, John. You've been on here a few times, but it's been a while, so it's always nice to chat with you. So welcome back.
Well, thank you very much, Leslie. It's always a pleasure to speak to you and to our listeners out there. It's nice to be able to, share some safety tips and safety knowledge with the folks who want to listen and maybe learn something. If it helps one person, then I think I've done my job, right? So
absolutely. With spring, I was hoping we could talk about working at heights because I think there's more people probably that require working at heights and there's more people out working at heights. So that's what you're joining us today for.
Yeah, and this is always a good topic to talk about. It's always a good reminder to the folks out there. And you're right about the time of year too. We're getting to that where school ends and you're going to have people coming into the workforce, that seasonal workers that maybe not as well versed as the rest of our regulars out there about what they need to do or where they need to go and what they need to get. So in the construction world, we have a Working at Heights program that since 2015, it's been approved by the CPO, which is the Chief Prevention Officer. They've come out and they have a standard for Working at Heights that's been effective as of April the 1st, I believe it is, 2015. That standard is clear. It's anybody that's teaching Working at Heights that fall under the construction regulations, so that's Ontario Regs 213-91. Anybody that falls under those regs have to make sure that the training they receive is that of a provider that is CPO approved. Working at Heights, it's good for 3 years. But if it expires, it could be expired for 6 months or a year, doesn't matter. As long as you've done the CPO approved, then the only thing you have to do after that is a refresher course. So whereas a full course is 8 hours typically, and then the refresher is half a day. So if you've done it and you've registered and you have your CPO ticket, then after that you just need to be refreshed. But we always look at who requires the training, what dictates or when somebody should have Working at Heights training, and it's well listed in the regulations, and it's workers that are exposed to falling a minimum of 3 meters require Working at Heights. Now that's as per the regulations. Companies can have their own standards, and a lot of places do, and they'll lower that height. So people working at 6 feet need to be tied off and need to have their Working at Heights. People who come off the ground even, so you step on a step ladder and you need Working at Heights. So, but in the Green Book, what's legislated and written down is 3 meters. Anybody that can fall more than 1.2 meters if the work area is used as a path for a wheelbarrow. So like if you're going up a ramp or you're pushing a wheelbarrow up a ramp to get to your workplace, then if that ramp is above 1.2 meters, then you need to have, it needs to be somebody that's exposed to a fall of that greatness. You need to protect them. So that would be a handrail so they wouldn't fall over. Falling into open machinery, doesn't matter how high you are. If there's a chance you fall into open machinery, you have to be tied off and protected. Falling into water or any other liquid. So if you're working in a wastewater treatment plant, or you're working next to a river or a dam, you need to be protected. If you're going to fall onto a hazardous substance or object, so if you're working above rebar that's coming up, number one, you protect yourself by covering the rebar, but if you don't, and there's a chance of falling onto something that's going to impale you, then you have to protect yourself from falling with fall arrest. Falling through openings. So if you're on a roof, everybody should be tied off if there's an incline to the roof. But if it's a flat roof where you don't need to be tied off, but there's openings for skylights or any other reason for an opening, if you're going to be installing an air conditioning unit and you've got the opening ready, then you have to protect yourself so you don't fall through the opening. We also look at workers who require the training, or anybody that would use a travel restraint system. If you're going to put a travel restraint system on, as soon as you put a harness on, doesn't matter for what reason, if you're going to go up in a man basket, if you're going to work anywhere near a leading edge and you're going to use travel restraints, anytime you put fall arrest on or fall protection on, you need to have the training. So fall restriction, fall arrest, if you're working by a safety net, if you have to put a safety belt on, you always need the training for the equipment that you're wearing. That goes without saying. Employees, and the training you get when you go to a CPO approved training program is not the be all and end all. You come out at the end, you get your ticket, you say, look, I've taken my working at heights training. There's still an onus on the company that you work for, that when you get to your job site, wherever you're working, is to get training on that specific equipment that you have on your site. So if you got rope grabs and travel restraints and anything that they have in the C-can that's used for fall protection, then you need that training on that too. So it's not just because you got trained. There is an onus on the company to ensure you get site-specific training on the equipment that you're going to be using on the site you're on.
That's a good tip, because people might not realize that, or especially new workers or young workers. I mean, even a experienced worker maybe.
That's right, exactly. Yeah. They come in, they get their training, and away they go. And sometimes, like especially here at Natt, when we deliver our training, we try to be as broad and as encompassing as we can with all the different types of equipment that you could come in contact with. But we can't do it all. We'd be here for more than the 8 hours just going through all the different types of equipment. So we give as broad a view of the equipment as we can, and we let people hands-on, touch it, know how it works. But if you're going to site, if there's pieces of equipment that you haven't seen before, or you need more training on, it's incumbent that the supervisor make sure that you get that training on site on that site-specific equipment too.
And for any companies that's listening right now, you can call like yourself or someone at Natt Safety and request on-site training, right? Like if you wanted,
you can do our training anywhere. So we can go to somebody's site and do it on site. If they've got specific pieces of equipment that they're not sure how to use, then we can definitely train them on that too. So we have lots of working at heights equipment that we use and rescue equipment that we use, but working at heights specifically that we can train them on for sure.
Perfect.
Whether it's here or on site, we're a call away. And I tell people there's no, don't be afraid to call and ask. Right? Don't be afraid to say, hey, I'm not sure, and have the courage to say, I don't know, and I'm going to find out, as opposed to trying to skirt your way around the subject or tell somebody it's going to be okay when you really don't know. Find out for sure and get the information that you need to do the job safely and do it right. Again, the equipment. There's times where you can have your training and the training card you get is good for 3 years. But some people don't work at heights every day. Some people don't touch that equipment on a regular basis. And they may have the training today for a job they're doing tomorrow and may not touch that equipment or do work at heights again for another 6 months. Right. So it's refreshing yourself. It's understanding how to do the job that you're doing and understand the equipment and what that equipment's going to do for you, which will make it easier for you to go and do your job if you know how safe you are and you've got the equipment set up properly. So it is important to make sure that you keep yourself familiar with the equipment that you're going to be using. And if you're not sure, ask.
The working at heights and the refresher is offered at Natt Safety, and it's a few times a month.
We offer, depending on the requirements and the needs of the public, we can We can offer the public classes we put on, and as they get full, we'll open up another class. And we also do the private. So if you've got enough people that would sustain the course, max per instructor is 12. Same as the refresher. The refresher is maximum 12 per instructor too.
And I just wanted people to know that there's offices in Lively, Sault Ste. Marie, Timmins, Brockville, Vaughan, but you can, as you said, you can go anywhere. So
those are locations you can reach out where we have offices. And but if there's anywhere in Ontario that you have training to do, or anywhere in Canada, or if you want me to train you over in Australia, you want to take me down, and no, seriously, our training is anywhere in the province for sure.
Well, this was very good. I think it's just a good reminder, makes people think, do I have it? If they're not sure, they can always give you a call and you can look it up. Is there a place online? There used to be a place online that you could go and check your working at heights. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, so, okay, it used to be Skills Pass that did it. The ministry has a site right now. There is an actual place that the ministry has where you can go and do it. We have a little barcode thing that you can scan, a little scan code that will take you right to the site, and you can check it right there. So if you come to any of our classes, we always ask if it's a refresher that you bring proof of previous training. And if you forget to do that, then we can check right there online before you start the class. So yes.
Perfect. So I'll put that link also in the show notes just for anyone that's curious. I think it's the one that's on the website, but I'll just confirm that with you. And I'll put your contact information in case anyone wanted to reach out and ask you a question. But again, thank you so much. I think this is really important, and it's just a good reminder for people to be safe.
Anytime, Leslie. It's always my pleasure. Thank you.
Star Podcast.
Whoa. Star Podcast.